Welcome to YouthWorks. Last week we were in Rukunji where we had Riches Afiona, a shoemaker, and this time around we are in Arua where we meet Alitia area, who is transforming communities through educational services. I believe as young people, as young innovators, we shall learn. Let us work together as a team of inspired youth in everything that we do, so as to bring lasting development solutions for the problems facing Uganda as a country.
Located in the corner of the country that borders both Southern Sudan and the Democratic Republic of Congo, a significant amount of local economic activity is the result of the cross-border trade. Arua district is bordered by Yumbe and Adjumani districts. And as the sun rises from the far east, one young man has the will to contribute to the growth of his home area through venturing into one of the most key sectors.
I was born in Arua town. Of course, it's a beautiful town, and I can say it's the biggest town in West Nile region. My district is Arua, and where I was born particularly, my village is Pembele in Ajera Parish and Blefe sub-county.
Education is important for a successful post-conflict transition in northern Uganda, as it helps develop people's ability to break free of circles of violence and suffering. But is it against this backdrop that Alitia Elia decided to start up Golden Treasure Nursery and Primary School?
If you look at our region, actually we have been one of the, not the region now, if you look at our district, Arua has been one of the most competing districts in the whole country those days. But as time went, the performance started going down, growing retrogressively. So we decided to say we cannot wait to see our district going down performance-wise. Yeah, me and my brother, we sat down and said we're supposed to correct this by starting a school and making our school to be very unique, to compete favorably with schools, doing well in Kampala, doing well in Biji, in Wakiso, in Bale, in Hoima.
In this type of business, all the structures have to be well aligned so as to attract consumers. Did Elia live by this statement?
When we started, actually, like I said previously, we did not actually, we were sure of not getting some big amount of money to start the school as someone who had the money will do. So me and my brother, we decided to start saving, and we actually identified things that we needed for the school. When we reached half of 2011, we started now preparing things like our school logo. Actually, we started getting the school objectives, packaging them, and each objective we had, we give what is unique. Our teachers will tell us what we are supposed to do at school.
And how much capital did this law student start with?
When we opened now in 2012, on Earth, the money we had in our pocket was about 5 million. Yeah, we basically used it for working on desks for the pupils, because they needed to be there. We used the money. It wasn't enough, but we saved some money afterwards. Yeah, as the number continued to rise up, then we also continued making new desks.
Today, class, what we are going to learn about is germination. I'm sure we have
so many entrepreneurs underlook the importance of having the right people on the job in terms of skill. And this was a challenge to Elia when starting this business.
We wanted to be unique in the market, but to be unique, we also needed people who had the skill to make us be unique in the field. So the challenge we had from that section was how to train our staff so that they will pick with our unique ideas, our innovative ideas, right from the inception of the project. And we had to struggle left, right, and center to make sure our staff, before the school started, were actually equipped.
Page 55, are we there?
For this kind of business, accessibility of the location and a good ratio in terms of numbers of students for a start are key, and he bases on these to tell his breakthrough moments.
Our initial plan, because we had some issues which made us to start slightly late. The issue of finding a site for the school was a challenge. We had about 3 places. We actually moving. There were some issues. So not until we got this place is when we settled. I can say that was one of our breakthroughs. Our first number we targeted was at least if God can make us get 50. The first week we registered about 25. We were very hopeful. That was before the opening of the school program for the first term. So the 25 was actually a promising number for us. We kept on advertising, moving on ground, talking to people. The number kept on going, and by the second week, our 50 was already done.
With the goals of Golden Treasure not neglected, the community too has benefited from this project.
Our major objective is academics, because actually the kind of pupils, I'm not saying it's bad, but people actually tested us with people who had performed poor in other schools. That is they actually used it for trying us. But I'm happy when we finished first term. Actually, before we finished first term, some 1 month in first term, we started receiving positive comments from parents. And then throughout the whole year, parents have been appreciating our efforts because they have seen their children performing quite well compared to where they were. So I can say that's the first thing the community has benefited from. Here we have some bursary programs. We gave about 3 bursaries to some young positives. Then in our school here, we gave them actual full bursary. They study for free. And there are 2 orphans. All their parents they are deceased. All their parents are deceased. Their support has not been okay. One of them came alone. She came to our to the management, to the teacher alone. She wasn't escorted by someone. She came and said, I want to be in this school. I've been at home. I was staying with my grandmom, and she wanted me to be at home because there's no one who can pay for my fees, something like that.
Hard work has results that come with it. Elia shares with us how this project has changed his life.
As an individual, one of my greatest benefits I've received is seeing our community transformed. And though we have not stayed so many years, but from the first year I'm able to see we are making a change in our community, and I'm very, very proud about that, because it's actually what inspired us to start this business. So it is my biggest pride. But other than that, I've been able to buy soap, to cater for my family, to even educate my siblings. I have 2 boys, my followers, who are in secondary.
I command my shoulders to praise the Lord. Shoulder, shoulder, shoulder.
With new ideas streaming in daily, Elia and the team still have challenges to eliminate.
We actually have unique objectives, and unique objectives need unique skills also, so that the two relate very well. So I would say we need a lot of capacity building kind of training for our teachers or for our staff generally, because if they are not trained well or if they are not guided well, they cannot implement the school objectives properly. So that's one of our biggest kind of needs at this material moment.
Planning and hitting targets are paramount for such a business, and this is what Elia has to say for the bigger picture of this project.
Actually, we have a very big dream, because 5 years, according to our starting, we are very sure by the time we reach the 5 years, we'll have already achieved quite a lot of things. One, before we reach the 5th year from now, we actually want, academic-wise, we want our P7. We just want to be producing first grades, especially in our P7 class. That's why we want to. That's why we are working on the performance of all our pupils, right from baby class up to P7. So if we have that for about actually this year, if we have the whole of this year, by around 2000, actually next year, I'm very convinced all our P7 candidates can pass in grade 1. And we're not just looking at grade 1 as it is. We actually admire passing in single digit. That means from 4 to 9.
What is germination? What is germination?
Looking at how far he has come, this is what he has to say to fellow youths.
My advice to the youth is, as you are planning, you don't need to be frustrated. You don't need to think of having a lot of money to start a project, or you don't need to admire reaching some kind of age. Most of our youths, I can say, they don't have a lot of hope in them, or their level of self-esteem is not what one would imagine right now. But it's very bad. So I'll advise them to be very courageous. When they are making their goals, they should not make goals which they can easily fulfill within 2 or 3 years, and then they start relaxing. You should have short-term goals and then long-term goals, so that when you finish your short-term goals, you don't stop there. You start actually working on, because development cannot happen once. And as you develop, the world keeps on changing every time. Right now I can have a suit, but the first one maybe tomorrow is different. I'll have to get equipped so that I can afford that. But I'm not saying necessarily this example of a suit is what a youth is supposed to admire. What I'm trying to say in simple terms is youths are supposed to have that self-esteem and plan very creatively to make sure they do something which they can benefit from.